All right, we're live. Everyone, I want to welcome you again to another episode of Blogging for Freedom TV. My name is Adam Knackers. I'm with my co-host David Book, and we have a special guest, Toby Black. I'm really excited to have him today. And just before we get into what we're going to talk about, just to give you some background on Blogging for Freedom TV, what this is all about is really sharing with you how to use a platform we call blog to build an audience and a brand online as a way to create more freedom in your life, really through pursuing what you are passionate about already. So just to give you some of my background, I've been building my business online now for about 2 years, and what happened for me is I kind of got tired of the grind working in professional environments as an IT consultant, and I just reached a point in my life where I wanted to find a way to create the freedom in my life that would allow me to pursue what I was most passionate about, and my wife too, which is traveling the world. And so we started to look for alternatives to the jobs that we had, and we went online, and that's when we actually came across this incredible community, and we learned how to use a simple system to build a business online. And since we've implemented a lot of what we're going to be sharing with you today, my wife and I have both been able to step down from our jobs, and we've been traveling the world now for 15 months, and we're just very grateful for what we've been able to learn and the community we've gotten connected to. So I want to actually hand this over quickly to David, who's going to share a little bit more about his story, and then we're gonna bring on Toby, and we've got some questions for Toby. Toby's amazing. I've been following him for a long time, and his story is really powerful, and we'll actually get to that in a minute. But David, why don't you take the stage here and tell a little bit about your story?
Sure, man. Thanks, Adam. And Toby, glad to have you here with us today, man. I'm Blogging for Freedom TV. I'm so glad to have everybody else here as well. It's awesome to be putting on these events. This is our sixth one, and it's pretty exciting. I never thought I'd be doing a live TV show on a Google Hangout. You think about that like 5 years ago. Who's doing that kind of stuff, right? But now, Adam and I and Toby, we're involved in a community of bloggers and marketers who use these Google Hangouts on a weekly basis. I'm seeing probably 3 or 4 of these different Hangouts every week, trying to learn more about how to blog and how to run a business and how to network with people. And just the sheer power that these have is amazing. You can connect with people all over the world, and you can talk about anything you want, and you can get that information out there. And so that's why I'm excited, and I'm glad you guys joined us here today. So let's just go ahead and get started. My name's David Book. Like Adam said, I got my lower third down there today. If you guys notice, that's new. It says David Book on my website. Something new I learned over the week. But anyways, what I want to talk about today a little bit is how to really bring your passions and your personal life to the forefront on the internet, and how to create a personal brand that you can use not only to sell products or services, but to move you forward in the directions that you want to go in your life. And today we have Toby Black with us, and he's a very esteemed blogger, and he's also a musician. And I kind of want to just talk to Toby a little bit today about how he's taken himself from being a struggling musician, living in the basement of a bar, and how he's been able to leverage social media and blogging to be able to create his dream lifestyle so that he can spend the time with the lovely Layla and his family. So, Toby, I'm just going to let you take the floor, man. Give us a little bit of background about where you came from and how you've built your blogging business and how you built your personal brand, and maybe tell us a little bit about how a musician or an artist might be able to do something similar to what you have done.
Cool, will do, David. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. So if this is the first time that you're seeing or hearing from me, you may be thinking, hey, is that David's brother or something? Because those look a lot alike with their crazy ginger beards and their hair and whatnot. No, we're not. We're brothers from a different mother. So my name's Toby. One part of Toby and Layla. That's my wife and I's brand that we've been building for about 5 years on the internet. We have a pretty intense, powerful story, and it can mean the world to you or it can mean nothing to you. It just depends on how you receive it. About 4.5 years ago, more than that now, 5 and a bit years ago, Layla, my wife, and I were living in the basement of a bar up here in Canada. Actually, as I sit here and do this hangout and I look out the window at the high school that I used to attend, and just down the street is the bar that we used to live below. See, we used to live below a bar, and I don't mean like the bar was its own building and then we had a side entrance and you go below the bar. I mean, we had to go into the bar and behind the bar and down the stairs to get to where we lived. I lived there for about 9 months or so. Layla and I lived there for a few months together before her parents were like, okay, Jesus Christ, would you please come and live with us, because you guys can't just be living at a bar anymore. So we went from staying there and having that lifestyle, that perspective, and that opportunity to earning our first 6 figures, so doing over $100,000 in a calendar year within our first year online, and then moving into the multiple 7 figures, into the millions of dollars, and now over the past 5 years we've been a part of over $17 million worth of products and services and teams that we've built, and volume and sales and whatnot. So the fact that some 20-something-year-old punks with no experience, with no business experience, no internet marketing experience, and no business contacts, and not a lot of funding, can position themselves in a way by following mentors and systems and trainings to earn this kind of income, and more importantly, live a lifestyle that most people would only think that celebrities, 0.1% of doctors maybe make, royalty, this lifestyle that really is a dream where you wake up whenever you want, you don't have a boss, you don't have someone telling you what you should be doing each day, you're able to live freely and with options so you can help out friends and family, and you live stress-free. So the reason 2 seconds ago when I said that my story can be dramatically impactful for you or it can mean nothing, because you can decide whether you can take what I just said with a pinch of salt and say, yeah, they maybe got lucky, or yeah, that it happened for them but not for me, or you could be the person that looks through the better set of eyes, the better perspective, and says, you know what, if they can go from having literally no money, had to borrow credit cards off my parents to get started in things, with no roof over our head, with everything caving in, to where we are now in a matter of years, anyone can do it. And how did we do it? Our primary marketing strategy through these entire years has been blogging. Now, we on a daily basis use content and video, and videos under the umbrella of content, but really articles, so blog posts, and then videos. And that content that we've been sharing, we've been learning, sharing, creating for the past few years, have turned into an online sales force, because we have hundreds and hundreds of videos posted on YouTube. This is just a prime example. I was just in our YouTube account the other day and saw that over the last like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, there was about 9,000 minutes watched of our YouTube videos just in that one account, and we have like 4 accounts. So let's say on a low side, around 30,000 minutes. I don't know how many, 30, just going to do some quick math here. 1,000 minutes in days. How many days is that? So that's 20 days. So in the past 2.5 weeks, we have had 20 days worth of people watching our videos on YouTube that points back to our blog. So why am I telling you that? Because we have in place, just by shooting some videos, we have a whole sales army working for us night and day for 20 days straight in the past 2 weeks. And we don't have to pay those people. We don't have to make sure that they come into work. We don't have to pay them child support or insurance or benefits or anything. We don't have to do any of that. But it's an online salesperson that someone can find, watch this video, come to our blog, like what we have to say, and end up joining us, and we make money. So that's just one little strategy. Now, fast forward before YouTube, fast forward before social media, how could you do that? You couldn't, unless you had a big fat budget to go on the TV or go on the radio and do ads like that. So we live in a very, very interesting time. David and Adam will both attest to this. We live in a very opportunist time where we have opportunity right now that we've never had before. Someone can legitimately come into an industry that they're unknown in and be a celebrity in a matter of months if they take hard action, focused action, specific action. So for us, in a nutshell, we've been able to go from our tagline is the basement of a bar to a life reserved for stars by content marketing and through blogging.
Woo!
Awesome, man. So just to give you guys an idea of the kind of power that Toby and Layla have their hands on, it's about, I think it was Florida. It was October. I was in Orlando, and I was there for a blogging event, and it was my first event. It was with a community that I just joined, and I would get people to come up to me at this event, and they would ask me, say, are you Toby? And I'm like, no, man. Who is this Toby guy? Like, I have no idea who these people think I am. And I actually missed Toby on stage in Orlando, so I didn't even get to see him. I didn't even know who he was. And then the next event I went to, more people started coming up to me. It's like, hey, man, are you Toby? You know, how's it going? I'm like, I'm not Toby, but I do know who Toby is now. And the reason that people thought that I was Toby is because he has such a presence with the content marketing, the blogging, and the videos that he puts out. He's a celebrity out there, guys. And people know him because of his videos and what he does. And to have somebody approach me thinking that I was Toby was just kind of blew my mind. Like, I was new at video marketing.
It's powerful stuff.
Just didn't realize that could happen. So
and I wanna you asked in your question that I just answered, you said something, David, that I want you to shed some light on. You said speaking to someone that's an artist or a musician, because what we have with the Empower Network and what we have with our blogging platform that we all work with is a streamlined, fast approach through training for someone to get the results that they want, but also the platform to facilitate what they actually have to do. Case in point, my band, Sons of Revelry, we've been together for now 2 years, but in our first year of conception, we were able to travel all over North America, play shows in front of 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people, support massive platinum bands like Godsmack, like Seether, like Buckcherry, and tour all over the place and develop this crazy following and do all these incredible things, record in Hollywood and just stuff that bands can only dream of. And we did it through internet marketing, but more importantly through content and blogging. So if you are someone that loves yoga, or you're someone that loves sewing, or you're someone that has a really deep passion and hobby with stamp collecting, or you're an artist, or you're a producer, or you're a chef, or a realtor, the possibilities are endless, because at the end of the day, you use the same mechanics no matter what industry you're in to attract, seduce, and impress and influence the target audience that you're talking to. So hands down, we have the best way for a brand new band or a brand new realtor or a brand new yoga instructor to grow their sphere of influence and generate a lucrative, profitable, sustainable business.
Nice. So that kind of brings up something that I want to ask you. You know, let's say that you're an aspiring musician, or maybe you're a painter, you're some kind of artist, you know, and you want to get your work, you know, your music, your art, you want to get it out there in front of people. With blogging, you know, maybe let's say you don't really want to work on building a huge income right away. Maybe you just want to put yourself out there. How can you do that, and then how can the content that you put out, how can that help you get seen? Can you think of any examples where maybe like a record producer might have seen a YouTube video of an aspiring musician, or maybe,
oh, for sure. One of the first things, like if we're just talking about the music industry, one of the first things a major label asks you or your management company is, what is your hit sheet? Meaning, how many YouTube hits do you have? How many subscribers do you have? How many Facebook followers do you have? How many people do you have liking and commenting on your stuff? This is actually the criteria that they're evaluating bands with. So if you know that as a musician, to be a musician or in a band, that you need to get your numbers up on doing this, the best way to do that is to go seek out people that have already done it. So let's just take that example of people finding your stuff on YouTube and go to maybe a chef. Let's say there's a young chef watching this, him or her, and they're very creative, they're very passionate, but they just don't know how to get out of their small town or small city, wherever they live, and get onto the huge stratosphere of cooking and how much of a celebrity is in this day and age. Before, if you didn't have YouTube and blogging and all these different platforms, it would take a ton of word of mouth, a ton of radio ads, and maybe a big break to get on TV, or a book being published to get that kind of exposure, to create that celebrity, to create that brand. Now, this person, him or her, watching whoever you are, and while I'm telling the story of a chef, think about the industry that you're in or the thing that you're passionate about and how you can do the exact same thing. That person just shoots like maybe 10 or 11 really good, informative, valuable training videos about whatever it is they're passionate about. Case in point, the cooking thing. They go create this YouTube channel, which is all free. They can do it from their iPhone. 90% of the videos we cut are from our iPhone. They go up to YouTube, and then with a little bit of tweaking that you can learn inside the Empower Network, inside iPass, whatever system you're joining, you can learn how to structure your videos the right way, and then how to promote them so you can create a windfall. It doesn't really matter what industry we're talking about, dudes. The A&R reps and the talent reps and the headhunters are scouring social media to find the jobs to fill for TV shows, for the new cooking programs, for all these different things. It's all happening on social media.
Yeah, actually, I was just reading about that. I don't know if you've read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It.
Oh, yeah.
But he talks so much about building a brand in there and being able to use the internet and social media to get yourself out there. And the reason that he says that is because the internet has disrupted our economy in a huge way. So, like,
for sure.
like you were saying earlier, if you had a fat budget, 20 years ago, you could get yourself on TV commercials, radio ads, different, billboards, like hard physical media. You could get yourself on those if you had enough money. But now the internet has brought us to a point where every single person on the planet with an internet connection and a smartphone can reach thousands and thousands of people just by pressing a button. And that is so powerful. And what that has done is it's shifting the ad revenue and the headhunting and the business opportunities. It's shifting people to look online for those kind of opportunities. Maybe there's a business developer out there that's looking for some kind of musician to come out, and they want to invest in them. They want to help build their brand, and they found them through social media. Those are opportunities that are here today, right now, for everybody on the planet to be able to use. And I think if you know about this stuff and you're not using these platforms to build your social brand in any kind of way, then I think you're behind the eight ball. I think that if you want to be successful and get yourself out there, you need to use this stuff. You need to start doing it right away.
For sure.
Another way.
If you're not doing it, you're not in the game. Like, there's reasons that Walmart and Target and billion-dollar companies spend the majority of their ad budgets on social media. Right? Because that's where the people are.
Right, that's very
So
helpful.
if you're whatever you're marketing right now or want to be marketing, if you're not doing it, you're really not even in the game unless you have something so specialized that it's all word of mouth. But if you're looking to get out and get into the consumer marketplace, you're not on social media, good luck.
Isn't another way of really what we're saying here too is that the gatekeepers, like the traditional gatekeepers that have always been there in some of these industries, are pretty much becoming obsolete.
For
Like I have a
sure.
friend she's just finished writing a book, and we've been talking about and helping her build her brand, and she's setting up appointments with these publishers, right? And she's complained in the past many times about not getting the traction she wants with these people, but she really has no leverage at this point because she hasn't at all been focused on building an audience. And I'm getting through to her now finally that these gatekeepers really don't even need to be there. You don't need to focus your energy there. If you just focus on building your own audience, you can get out of the obscurity you're in right now by simply taking the action towards creating content that's valuable to the audience that you want to get in front of. So, she writes books, and I've got her now starting to talk about who her audience is, who her ideal reader is, and how she can start to create content on a blog and on YouTube to start to build an audience. And as a byproduct of that, she'll actually become more of an authority. She'll have more leverage when she, wants to have, when she makes these contacts with other influencers, and she'll sell more books. And so I think that's another huge, piece of this is that these gatekeepers that have always been there, you can remove them now. You can bypass them, and blogging is basically just a self-publishing platform. It's a way for you to go out and get that unique value that you have and that's valuable to an audience out there in the world with no barriers to entry or costs.
For sure.
Toby, the other question I'd have for you is, I know social media has become such a big thing. So why, for someone who's getting started, and I see a lot of people that are really active on social media but haven't really gained an awareness yet of why they need to have a blog, what would you say to people who are doing things on social media but, what's the incentive to have the blog as well?
Well, that's a great question, Adam, because a lot of people miss this and think they can just survive on a fan page. And some industries you can get by just with a fan page, but if you think of the distractions that are happening on Facebook, if you think of the distractions that are happening on YouTube, if you think of the distractions happening in all these different social media sites, because that's how they're built. They are wired. They are put there. Facebook spends millions of dollars each month testing where they should put different things like the news, the trending, the ads, what's coming next. On YouTube, the related videos. They spend millions of dollars to track the algorithms of where people are clicking and why, because they want to keep people on their site. So me as a business owner, me as a band leader, me as someone promoting my own brand, my concept, do I want to work hard marketing to get people to a page where they're just going to bounce off and go somewhere else and be led down a rabbit hole? No, I want to, or either you work hard and you bring them to your own site, and then the rabbit hole they end up going down is all your own content. So one of the major things about having your blog is you want to be able to control the content that your target audience is seeing. Yes, you need YouTube, Facebook, these other social media sites to propel the traffic back to your blog. You want to piggyback off the traffic they have and promote it to your blog, but you want to make sure that you have your home, you have your nucleus. You want to make sure that you have this safe haven of content that someone can come and see and look through the videos and read through the content and go, wow, there's a ton of information here, and immediately when that person's viewing your Facebook profile, you're almost viewed as peers. When that person's viewing your Facebook fan page, you're going up a little bit in the influence sphere. And then when they come to your blog and see your banner and they see your images and they see your video and they see your content, you're dramatically increasing your level of influence over that person, because they're viewing you as a celebrity, they're viewing you as an expert. And when we want to learn or buy a product, where do we go and learn from? We go and learn from the experts in that niche. So if you want to make more sales or more book sales or raise more money for your community or whatever the case may be, become the expert, become the celebrity in your space, and people will come to you for advice. And obviously the advice that you're going to give them will be good, solid, with their best intention at heart, and you're going to show them where they can buy the best stuff for whatever it is that you're talking about.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think about just on Facebook especially how easy it is to be distracted when you're there. And, you know, with your blog, it's basically this environment you can, you know, so as Toby was saying, you're building your audience on Facebook, you're engaging people there, then you can bring them to a place where you can control the experience that they're having. That's just really, really powerful. And, as he said, position yourself as the expert. Really powerful stuff. Dave, did you have another question?
I do, yeah. So a question that I get a lot from people that I talk to is, you know, I'm passionate about X, Y, Z, but I really don't think I have anything to talk about. You know, what would you say to somebody who is a musician or an artist that has a lot of passion, but they need to know what to blog about, what to write about? How do you go about doing that?
Well, it's not so much telling them what they need to write about. It's more asking questions to guide them to get there on their own. Because no matter what walk of life a person comes from, no matter what part of the world they've came from, no matter what kind of upbringing they've come from, no matter what it is that they're doing, they have their own unique perspective on life. So everybody has value to bring. Because I understand as a successful entrepreneur that I want to get around and be around as many people as possible to learn from their perspective. That you guys, Adam and David, you guys see marketing in a different way that I see it. You see making money or blogging in a different way that I see it. And I will be able to pick up on things from your perspective and learn new things. So no matter how brand new the person is, no matter how much they feel like they don't have value to bring, no matter how much they're like, I don't even know what to blog about, all that's cool, all that's normal, but just start blogging. Just start writing about something that happened in your day and how you felt about it. Write about your favorite TV show and how you feel about it. Write about your family member, your spouse, or your loved one and how you feel about them. And what you'll notice is the more that you do it, the more that you do it, the more that you do it, it becomes second nature. You release the negative thoughts and fear and stories that you've built up in your head when you go to do it, and then it just becomes natural to write about how you're actually feeling or thinking on a subject or your views in the world. And when you really start to just let your own energy flow, that's when you attract and influence your target audience, because you're no longer saying the things that you think people want to hear. You're no longer saying the things that you think are right. You're just speaking from the heart, and when you speak from the heart, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't even matter the words that you're saying. The energy in which you convey that communication with is enough to have that person at least say, you know what, I think I can benefit from being around this person. I'm going to bookmark their blog. Or I think I can benefit from being around this person. I'm going to opt into their email list. And then from there, you know, the nurturing process happens. And then lo and behold, they join you and you're making thousands of dollars from them and helping them earn thousands of dollars too.
Awesome. I just wanted to kind of piggyback there. You know, a thought that I've had in my head for a while is that the actual process of blogging, from creating the idea to writing it down, you know, that part of it, that putting your personal life and yourself out there, being a little bit vulnerable, is such a huge personal growth opportunity. Because, you know, when I was a brand new blogger, I was always thinking in my head, like, you know, I got this idea to write about, but what are other people going to think? You know, is it going to be okay for my market? Are people going to like it?
For sure.
The more I blogged, the more I stopped caring about that, and the more I realized that I was kind of telling myself excuses and little lies to keep myself from blogging. But once I realized that I could grow and that people would actually be interested in my story, in my life, like, it was so much easier to blog, and it's made me such a better person, and I think it can do that for everybody as well. So that was
100%.
awesome. Let your energy flow. That's the line I liked from you there.
Yeah, and like what you're saying there is 100% true, because when someone doesn't matter if it's blogging or quitting smoking or starting a new profession or a new job, or working out for the first time or a new hobby, learning guitar, whatever it is, when someone's doing something out of their comfort zone and it's expanding who they are, they're growing into the better version of themselves. Now there's different people in this world, right? There's people that want to do things, that talk about doing things, but they let the fear of the unknown hold them back from actually doing it. Where there's people like us, and there's people on this webinar right now, this TV show, that are people that want to do it, know they must do it, and they're not letting their fear get in the way. They're actually going out there and doing it. And we all, I don't matter if it's Tony Robbins, if it's Richard Branson, if it's us on this hangout, we all, when we start something new, have this like, oh, can I do it? Should I do it? I don't know if it's for me. Fear-based thoughts, those are all natural. But understand, don't fight them. Just go with it and do it anyway. Because the person that you are before you do it, you end up being a different person when you come out the other end. And you actually, your future self normally thanks you. Even if it's a bad situation or a situation that wasn't cool, you learn from that and you actually became more knowledgeable, more worldly at the end of it. And what you'll realize is the more that you do things out of your comfort zone daily, like take a different way to work, just tiny small things, like do something different in the morning. When you build this, when you every day expand your comfort zone, 30 days, 60 days, a year, 2 years later, you'll notice that all these little thoughts and negative things about, oh, should I do it? Can I do it? Is it for me? Do I look good in this outfit? They slowly get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until one day you become this person that, you know what? Sometimes I wear a t-shirt that's too small and I shouldn't wear it. Sometimes I play a note on guitar and I mess up. Sometimes I do these things and it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, but who cares? You know, you get to the point where you just release all of this just baggage, built up crap that you tell yourself, when really all that stuff is doing is holding you back. But you get to a point when you fully release it, and then you just operate from this clear space of what's next. And when you get to that place of what's next, oh, I'm going to go and learn how to speak Spanish. Oh, I'm going to go and learn how I can travel the world for 6 months. Oh, I'm going to learn how I can take my band across North America after being a year old. You don't worry about the little crappy little how-to things or the fear-based things. All you focus on is the thing that you actually want, and you just figure out how to get there.
That was amazing. That's, wow. You guys need to watch the replay later, rewind that, and listen to that like 3 or 4 times. That was some amazing, amazing stuff there, Toby. Wow. So, Adam, that's all the questions I got for Toby, man. If you got anything else, you can step in.
Well, we're at about 30 minutes, and so, well, first of all, Toby, I just want to thank you for joining us, because this was marvelous. This was a really powerful episode. And for all of you that are watching this right now, I mean, you have the opportunity, just so you understand, we're all part of a community of bloggers and marketers. So when you make the decision to get started, there's a button below this. If you were invited by me, there's a button below this video that you can click to get started with your blog. And the great thing is you get to bypass all the technical BS that tends to bog a lot of people down when they're trying to get their website set up and get their blog set up right. With what we offer you, you don't have to worry about that. You can literally just get started. You have your blog up and running, and you can just start applying what Toby's been teaching you, which is to just start to put yourself out there, put your energy into, creating value every day, sharing your story, and become, a more powerful version of of yourself, basically. So I just urge you to take that step, get started. When you do, we'll welcome you with open arms. You'll be part of this amazing community that we're all a part of. And we look forward to really seeing you reach your true potential and create the freedom and all the other opportunities that you deserve to have in your life. So thank you again for attending. This has been another episode of Blogging for Freedom TV, and have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Toby, for coming, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Appreciate being here.